Today's Spring Racing Carnival telecast is proudly brought to you by Carlton and United Breweries, Goodyear, Ford Australia, and Telecom Yellow Pages.
Trying hard, Kingston Rule in front, the Phantom trying to get up on the inside, but it's Bart's 8th Cup and Kingston Rule wins the Melbourne Cup. Second the Phantom.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final day of the Spring Racing Carnival here at Flemington. And I can tell you the Melbourne weather has done a 360-degree turnaround. On Tuesday, on Cup Day, it was very warm, up around 30 degrees. And today, well, the roses are still out, but it's very windy, a very cold wind blowing from the west, and I'd say at the moment maybe only about 14 or 15 degrees. But a great day's racing. There's some super horses going around today. But let's reflect first and go back and have a look at that great derby and the great win from Fire Oak.
Centro's got his head in front. Fire Oak is kicking back on the inside. The Sydney horse, he's a maiden. Fire Oak, what a way to break your maiden status. If he's done it, I think he has.
To break the maiden, a good win there to Fire Oak, but on Cup Day, it belonged to Bart.
Kingston Rule in front, the Phantom trying to get up on the inside, but it's Bart's 8th Cup and Kingston Rule wins the Melbourne Cup a length. Second the Phantom, third Mr. Brooker.
Yeah, super run by the best bred horse in Australia without a doubt. And then the Oaks on Thursday, Bart did it again.
Delight a length and a half in front, Whisk trying to go through. Weekend Delight in front, Whiskers trying hard. Weekend Delight in front, Whisk won't get her in. Weekend Delight wins the Oaks.
Another great win too to Bart Cummings. It's been a terrific week for him with the Cup and the Oaks. And we're here at Fleming today. I used to be in the nice, warm, comfy studio, but now it's Dan Malecki who's in the nice, warm, comfy studio with Johnny Letts to call all the races and set it up for you today.
Thanks very
Afternoon,
much,
Dan.
Tim. Thanks a lot, mate. What a day. It's the final day of the 4 days here. John Letts with me. John, it's been a fantastic week. I know you've had a ball.
I've had a ball, Dan, and it's been a great week, as you say, and the track looks magnificent today. And I think we'll find a lot of these horses will be a lot happier today with the track. Just a little bit on the soft side, on the dead side, and I would have liked to have seen the Melbourne Cup run on a track like this. You know, the track's very hard at the moment, as we heard from a lot of the jockeys that were beaten, that their horses jarred up, and that was the sad part about the race, that some of those horses are going to feel it for a few weeks. But I think you'll see a great race today in the big one, in the Honda Stakes.
Yeah, it should be a ripper. We'll have a look at the program for the afternoon, John. The Flemington Stakes for 2-year-olds is due at 12:20. The big one, of course, is on at 2:50. Best milers in the land better loosen up on the race last year. And the carnival concludes with the carnival welter at 10 minutes to 5. The scratchings for the day. First event, take out 7 Arabian Flyer, 9 Celerita and 17 Winning Strike. Race 2, scratch 14 Polar Rose. In race 3, there are no scratchings. In the 4th event, take out the Emergencies, Hit the Point and Witch Hill Way. The big one today, the Honda Stakes, take out Planet Ruler and Procol Harum, 1 and 11. Race 6, take out Carl Garantown and Sung Yi Wong, 7 and 9. The 7th event, take out Convocation and Taro, 5 and 15. And the last event, take it 11 Sherwood Lodge and 14 Ascent of Man has been scratched as well. Totes for the first event, Wrangler Boy at $5, $2.90 for Bacchanalia, $2.55 for Hula Grey, $7.75 Cajun Lane, $4.10 for Hula Warrior. Over the page, and we have Just Ivory at $11.90, New York a first starter at $4.60, Subliminal at $4.75, Court Flirtation $15.75. Very open races, you can well gather, $11.45 for Our Sky and $14.70 for number 21, Carmisi.
They like Hula Grey on the tote. They also like Bacchanalia. And they like Hula Warrior. And let me tell you, Dan, from the look of him, he looks a picture, Hula Warrior. So here's you to have a look at it.
Well, there you can see to the far left of the screen, Tim, where they start the race from. 1,100 metre dash it is, straight down the Flemington straight today. And there's plenty of youngsters in this race.
The horses are on the track.
Set, Flemington Stakes, they're off and racing. And let's have a look, and getting away pretty smartly was Bacchanalia, showing good speed in the early part with New York, Cajun Lane. Brass Halo driving up on the inside, followed by Carmisi, Just Ivory behind those. Subliminal getting a little way back, and they were followed by Hula Warrior, who's out wider on the track as well, and that was Hula Grey, and they were followed by Wrangler Boy, Charleston Party. Up at about 600 metres to go, Brass Halo's up sharing the lead here. Wrangler Boy's just in behind him over on the inside. Bacchanalia going up towards the front running, and they were followed by Hula Warrior. Just in behind those, but out wider was Quo Ego. Down the outside, making up a bit of ground was Hula Grey. Running down to the 400 metres point, Bacchanalia shaken up, just led narrowly from the 2 Hula horses. Hula Warrior, Hula Grey down the outside, Glorious Day running a nice race, and they were followed by Subliminal under the whip, and then Wrangler Boy. 250 metres left to go though, and Hula Warrior kicked away. Hula Warrior shot 3 lengths clear of Glorious Day, running on then Hula Grey, but Hula Warrior's well clear with 100 metres to go, and Hula Warrior's going to win easily, most impressive. Unbeaten now from 2 starts, Hula Warrior won it by 3. Second, Glorious Day, flashing home at the finish was Mango's Lunch. Just in behind those was Court Flirtation, Quo Ego, Hula Grey, Bacchanalia, Subliminal, and they were followed in well back by Wrangler Boy, Charleston Party, then Chinese Music and Our Sky, Cajun Lane, Carmisi. New York never in it from Just Ivory. Brass Halo weakened badly after sharing the early lead, and then Andy's Reward, and back towards the tail, Faizam Student.
Well, Dan, there was no excuses for any of the beaten brigade in that, and Greg Hall, a very strong rider. I think that's Greg's first win over the carnival this year, and we all know what a great rider he is. But here we go, racing down towards the 400 metres, and Hula Warrior's in front here. For a fleeting moment, I thought the horse on the outside, Glorious Day, was going to really make was it the 11 horse moving up on the outside there, was going to make a race of it. But as soon as Greg Hall asked this horse for a bit more effort racing to the tower here, you just see him sprint away, and he was untroubled in the run of the line to win.
Yeah, he's won it easily. He really opened up. Trained by Ian Harrison, who also trains that magnificent sprinter Jet Fighter. And gee, he might have another horse good enough to replace him once Jet Fighter's days are over. But this horse has won most impressively.
Big run by the 4th horse, Dan.
Ian Harrison, it was a big run by the 4th horse. There was a couple running on strongly at the finish. As we were talking about, Jet Fighter's trainer now at $9.15 for Glorious Day, $4.60 Mango's Lunch, $223.10 Quinella, Trifecta massive dividend, $14,998.75. Yeah. It's very, very short. $8.75 Century Pike, $7 Luso, $5.10 for Road Song, $4.55 for Alpine Slopes, 22-1 for the Brisbane Philly Country Ballet, $1 even wraparound. Katabi, pretty big odds. So is Ray of Sunshine. She's not hopeless. $5.05 C Mirth. Over the page to Girl on the Run, $11.40, and they are pretty big odds, the rest of them, with the best of those chances being number 13, Miss Swanky. Huge odds right down to the bottom with Smart Road. So wrap around, Tim. Already the people you've tipped it to have got into it pretty quickly, including Peter Donegan and Graham Kelly. And as
I look at the tote, also some money for Road Song, for Simurth and Alpine Slopes. And here's Dan Malecki to have a look at race 2.
Tim, it's a fairly straight course, as you can see, right down the famous straight 6 here at Flemington. and usually the best horse does win this type of race, but by the same token, you still can't be getting boxed in. But Century Pike is at 7.60, Luso, Road Song, Alpine Slopes are all good chances at good odds. Wrap around $1 even dominates betting. 11.15 Ray of Sunshine, $4.94 Samirth. And over the page, Girl on the Run, 11.30. Miss Swanky, 15.60. And down the bottom, Smart Road at $37.60. He's probably got some hope. She's had 2 preparations and 1 first up each time.
There's 2 horses out, number 8's out, which is Ray of Sunshine by the look of it. They're making an announcement, and then the chestnut out, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at the moment. Mr. Kevin Blackmore, the head starter, has been, now as the horse was on the ground, they tried to pull the horse out, and the flailing legs got him, and he's still down, and I know he's conscious and all that, but it has shaken him up a little bit, so more worried about Kevin than the horse at the moment. The horses seem to be all right, but they won't race.
Thanks. And they're all set and they're off and racing now. And Samirtha jumped away reasonably well with Country Ballet, and getting out smartly too was Wrap Around, Road Song going fast. Century Pike showing a lot of speed, followed by Luso. Now let's look for Alpine Slopes, and she's back in the field at the moment as they run up towards the 900 metres point, where Road Song and Wrap Around are the joint leaders. The 2 stablemates are in front. Going up the third was Country Ballet, and they were followed by Girl on the Run. Out wider was Alpine Slopes and Luso, the 2 Friedman fillies together. Smart Road was back behind those, and they were followed by Katabi. Miss Swanky well out of her ground with Rain to Gaze on. And over on the inside, as they run down to about the 600 metres point, was Magic Feeling and Lady Ross. Onto the course proper they go. Road Song had to be shaken up. Road going up on the outside was Wrap Around. She's travelling the better. A length and a half, Country Ballet under the whip, and Century Pike running on from Girl on the Run, Katabi, Alpine Slopes, Luso. Wrap Around in front, 300 metres to go. Century Pike looked the biggest danger. Then Katabi, 250 to run. Wrap Around shaken up for Clark, kick 2 clear. Century Pike second, then Girl on the Run, Miss Swanky down the outside. The favourite in front with 150 metres to go. A couple flying home, including Lady Roz, with the favourites going to win. Wrap Around, she's 2 in front of Century Pike, and Wrap Around wins well. Century Pike second, Lady Roz, what a run, it third. Then came Miss Swanky, and they were followed by Seamirth and Rain to Gaze on. Girl on the Run next in from Smart Road, Chazette, Country Ballet, followed by Alpine Slopes, and then well back in the field was Wellback Sky's daughter Katabi. Road Song tired badly with Luso, and near the rear was Magic Feeling. 6-1 and 11 on race number 2.
Danny, if you took the short odds about that favourite, I don't think you had any worries in the world. Michael Clark had a lot of horse under him when they raced onto the course proper. Outside of the stablemate Road Song. Road Song looked to be the first horse beaten when Peter Hutchison called on her, but Wrap Around, she's saddled up very well from last week, and oh geez, a very impressive filly this. She's won her last 3 now. Century Pike was a great run under her big weight, and also the horse that came home, Lady Roz, was an outstanding run to run third.
It was a great run, Lady Ross, because she was a mile back at one stage, and to run on today, I think, especially down the straight races, John, is fairly complimentary, because it's pretty difficult against the wind, and it's a fairly strong wind. It's blowing right in their faces. I think Wrap Around was always going to win. Once she got the better of Road Song, I thought Century Pike was going to be the only danger to her, and she wasn't finishing quickly enough. You know, Michael Clark, he rode that filly perfectly. She was well weighted after beating the Colts on Saturday, and she was just too classy for these horses at the weights. Country Ballet showed speed before weakening. Luso and the stablemate Alpine Slopes just never got into the race, but I thought the run of the race, Lady Roz, she was still last with 200 metres to go. Watch her to the far left of screen in the blue cap. Look at her run on strongly. She passes many horses as Luso or Alpine Slopes got badly checked there.
When she gets over 1,400, Dan, she's going to be a pretty hard filly to beat, isn't she? That was her first run, and we noticed it in the earlier race. Mango's Lump's done the same, isn't it? So that might be the best part of the track to be today, out about 5 or 6 horses, nearly in the middle.
Very similar. David Hayes trained yet another winner. I think that's 9th for the week. His dad's got the record, I think, with 11. And, well, Peter, I think David can almost join the Channel 10 commentary team now. He's been on that often.
Yes, well, I don't know whether we have to pay you or not, but I told you it wouldn't be the last time we talked to you today. She was very impressive, David.
She was. You know, she was in the win leading outside the stablemate, and they were there to be grabbed, really. It was made for a horse to come from behind, but she had too much in reserve. It was a very strong win. She's a very smart filly.
Well, was that the plan to ride her up today? Because Michael was into her for the first 200 metres to get that position outside the leader.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the replay, but no, there was no real plan. Just told him to ride it as she was going, and I think he felt that the place to be was just outside the leader, and he sat actually to inside the 300. So she found a lot, and it was a good effort.
Well, she's proven herself to be top class now. Any thoughts of taking her to Perth for some of the big ones over there?
No, what we'll do is freshen her up and bring her back and try and have her for the Lightning and the Newmarket and the Oakley Plate. She's a fantastic sprinter who's just coming right. So I think as a sort of an autumn 3-year-old, she'll be a lot better again.
9 for the Carnival. Again, well done.
Thank you very much.
David Hayes, the winning trainer of Wraparound here in race 2, the Red Roses Stakes.
Wraparound, $1.15 and 65. Century Pike, $2.35. Lady Ros, $20.15. Quinella, $10.95. And the trifecta paid $1,094.10 on 6-1-11.
Over at the tote board, they like the top 3 in this, the Queen Elizabeth, and it should be a super race. Savage Toss is the one they like the most on the tote. They also like Water Boatman and Goliath, and let's have a look at them.
Yeah, they're 3 top chances, Tim. Water Boatman's got a lot of weight to carry, but David Hayes mentioned before the horse was schooled on, I think it was Thursday morning or yesterday morning, to try and sharpen him up for this race. The track will suit him. It's dead. 240, 190 Savage Toss, 225 Goliath, 460 in the money, 945 Cosign, 535 for Ideal Sentiment, Pabulum at $7.90, $20 almost for Tremoria, Delmar $7, Tiendi 17, Beyond the Bay 53, and we've got pretty big odds right down to the very bottom with $130,000 in the win pool. Peter Donegan selects number 3 Goliath at each way odds, and Graham Kelly is sticking to the Lee Friedman trained stallion Savage Toss, the former Argentinian, who will probably run favourite going on what the tote odds are for the moment.
Savage Toss can win this. Let's have a look at the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, you can see the start-finish. You look a little bit left of the finish sign. That's where they started. The same start as the Derby and the Oaks, and they have a run of about 150 metres to the winning post and then travel a circuit. Water Boatman, $2.50. Savage Toss, $1.85. Goliath at $2.20, and there's good money for Goliath, $4.30 for In the Money. And Ideal Sentiment, Pabulum and Delmar at all good each-way chances. And we go over the page. We see a couple of outsiders in the event. $20.15 for Tiendi, runner-up in the Berrigan Cup at its last start, with $190,000 in the win pool and $130,000 in the place pool. Runners are moving into the mounting yard for race number 3 for the Queen Elizabeth. Set now, lights on. And they're off and racing. Water Boatman missed the start by a length, and the first out was Love You Perth from Savage Toss. Ideal Sentiment. Wider out on the track was Cosign. Son of Carringbush, Goliath was up there as well. Well, Cosign's going to lead. Here's a surprise, a lap to go. And the Colin Alderson trained Cosign's in front of the Queen Elizabeth. From Son of Carringbush and third, Love You Perth. Then Savage Toss and Goliath trapped 3 deep, and Ideal Sentiment over on the inside of Beyond the Bay. Then Opalette, Tiendi 3 deep, a length away Water Boatman, 1.5 then a Tremoria, and they were followed by Wellback, River's Edge and Pabulum, Delmar, and last of all was In the Money. Along the back with 1,800 metres to travel, and Cosign led by a length 2, and second placing now Goliath making a quick sprint around the outside, and he'll go up towards the lead. Son of Carringbush now third, followed by Love You Perth and Savage Toss. A length away Ideal Sentiment, 2 lengths to Opalette, racing on the inside of Beyond the Bay. Around them Tiendi 3 deep, and then Water Boatman the middle. Tremoria the fence about 2 lengths further back than the River's Edge, and back on the inside was Delmar. And towards the tail Pabulum, and last of all In the Money about 10 lengths off the lead. 1,400 metres left to travel, and the leader is Cosigned by a neck now to Goliath, who's pulling a little bit. A length and a half to Love You Perth, and then Son of Carringbush and Ideal Sentiment the rails. A length away Savage Toss, who settled pretty well today despite not being able to lead. Opalette the inside, Tiendi 3 deep, Beyond the Bay the middle, then Water Boatman outside Tremoria. 2 lengths away then a Pabulum, and Delmar's gone back to second last on the outside of In the Money, and there's about 12 lengths between first and last. 1,000 metres left to go. Cosign led by a nose to Goliath. Here's Son of Carringbush going up 3 wide. He quickly went up to hit the lead, the Bolter. 2 lengths away in fourth placing was Ideal Sentiment on the inside of Love You Perth. Then Savage Toss, followed by Tiendi, Opalette, Water Boatman, Tremoria, and they were followed by Pabulum and In the Money last of all as they approached the turn. About 650 metres to travel, and the leader is Son of Carringbush narrowly from Savage Toss going up on the outside. Goliath in the middle, Cosign under pressure, then Ideal Sentiment, Beyond the Bay and Tiendi hooked out, and they were followed by Tremoria as they come around the home turn. About 500 metres to go, and Savage Toss has raced away. Savage Toss 3 lengths in front of Goliath. Here's Water Boatman down the outside from Tiendi and Ideal Sentiment. Savage Toss 300 metres to go, full of running, led 4 lengths In second placing was Ideal Sentiment, then Water Boatman, Tiendi Beyond the Bay, and Tremoria from in the money. Savage Toss 2 lengths in front with 200 to go. Ideal Sentiment trying to run him down, but Savage Toss has got a big break and they won't get him. And Savage Toss wins the Queen Elizabeth Stakes by 2.5 lengths. Great go for the Miners. I think Water Boatman got second in front of Tremoria and Ideal Sentiment. Then Tiendi, and they were followed in by Delmar Beyond the Bay. Further back, Love You Perth and Opalette Goliath. Pabulum Co-Sign in the money, second last son of Carringbush. And last of all was River's Edge. Winner of the Queen Elizabeth Stakes is number 2, Savage Toss, written by Jim Cassidy. And G. John Letts, didn't he look full of power at the 400 when he raced away? He's going to pay $2.90, $1.10 for second, $5.05 for third. But it is a photo for the Miners.
Danny, it was a great win and ridden differently today than what he was in the Melbourne Cup. He led all the way till about the 400 metres in the Melbourne Cup, and today ridden off the speed by Jim Cassidy. As we said, Love Your Perth and him are both leaders, and they both dropped in behind Co-Sign, who give in very quickly today. I was surprised because he's not a bad horse, Co-Sign. But Savage Toss, gee, looked the winner a long way out. The only chance in the race I thought of beating him was Ideal Sentiment. His run had finished about 100 metres out, and then it was left to the others to come home to run second. So I think
Tremoria's got second, number 8, yep.
Yes, and but all honours with the winner. Here he is, Savage Toss, and he doesn't have to lead, Dan, does he, to win?
No, Water Boatman actually missed the start about a length here. I don't think that was to his disadvantage, but he sort of walked out of the gates. But you're dead right, Savage Toss, he wasn't pressured to lead, but I mentioned in the call at about the 1400, he settled well, and that was most important.
I think that the track being soft today has helped this horse a lot too, because this has helped a lot of these horses today. It's helped Water Boatman as well as the winner.
Peter Donegan's going to talk to Lee Phoeben, won the Melbourne Cup last year, and Savage Toss ran a cheeky race Tuesdays, backed up today, and he won very powerfully, Peter.
Well, Lee, he did answer the question beautifully.
Yeah, I've said all along, I think he's a very good horse. It's just taken a while to get him right, and I really think if they ran the Melbourne Cup today, he would have won it. So the run obviously improved him, and he ran right up to that Cup form.
Was the plan to ride him in behind today?
Well, we wanted to get the cover from the wind, and I said to Jim, if he's travelling well at the 800 and they're trying to make it a non-staying test, I said, this is a high-class horse, just put the pressure on him. And when he went clear, he just kept going under a soft ride. He's a very, very good horse.
It did turn into a staying test too, because he sprinted at the 600, but they just couldn't get near him at the finish.
No, I don't think he's carried 55.5 in a race, whether it's here or Argentina, for a long while. So I think he really appreciated the drop in the weight, and he just showed his true class today.
He really didn't have the best of the handicapping in the Melbourne Cup, you know, it's a well-documented fact, but he won, what, $1 million race over at home, and he's paid the penalty ever since, really.
Well, I think that's correct. Combination of things were against the horse. I think, you know, early on, I don't think we had him as fit for one reason or another, and then he struck a succession of wet tracks, and that didn't help either. So I'm glad it's all come together for Mike. The horse has copped a lot of bad press, and I think he's putting that to rest now.
Great training performance, Lee. Well done.
Thanks very much.
The winning trainer in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, Dan Lee Friedman.
And there's Mike Whittlesey, the winning owner, on the screen had great success with Rubiton 2 years ago, winning the Cox Plate. 2, 8 and 6 of the placings, which I believe Water Boatman's missed the place.
Just do a nice little bit of work with him. Right.
Yep. The boy is Adam Trinder, and even at age 10, he's destined to be a horseman, like his dad Michael and Michael's father, the remarkable Ray Trinder. 88-year-old Ray has spent his life on horseback. Michael is one of Tasmania's top trainers, and young Adam has inherited the family passion.
Oh, that's good. They've gone really well. Pleased with that. Happy? Backhand. Backhand. Discover the hotel to improve.
What do you reckon, Ray?
Oh, mate, good rider as time goes on, as long as weight doesn't beat him.
You start off in a chaff bag?
No. Draft horse.
Ray left school at 10, the same age as Adam is now, and he got his education in the saddle.
I loved hunting and show jumping and that, and race riding too, for that matter. I love riding races, really.
How old were you when you finished riding?
I won my last race at Longford, I was 67.
For most people, retirement at the age of 67 might mean the end of their involvement in racing. But for this incredible old man, it was just the beginning. In 1972, Ray saw this horse, a local nag named Piping Lane, win the Hobart Cup and ridden by Roy Higgins.
And Roy said, oh, I'd bring him over on the off-seed, and he said, you might pick up a country cup.
If Roy had a poor opinion of the horse, Michael Trinder was even more damning. When he found out that Ray had bought Piping Lane for $6,000, the most he'd ever paid for a horse, Michael was dumbfounded.
And he knew the price, and he said, oh, Dad, he's not worth $6,000. I said, do you know what, Michael? I said, that's the cheapest horse ever sold in Tasmania. And he said, I only hope you're right.
He's one of those chaps with an uncanny knack for a horse. He can see a horse that looks a donkey to us, and it comes out and wins races in Melbourne and so forth. I think it's a gift, I think.
In fact, Ray was notorious for turning bad horses into local heroes. This fine trophy he won with a horse that he'd only just retrieved from a knackery. But what he was to do with Piping Lane, well, he had plans.
I didn't say much to anyone about that part of it because I think they'd think of it silly, wouldn't they? So you're going to win a Melbourne Cup with it.
So inconspicuous was Ray Trinder that when Piping Lane ran in the Cup, the owner had trouble getting past the gatekeeper into the parading yard. And being a little man, when everyone stood for the finish, Ray didn't see a thing.
At the 250-metre mark, it's Magnifique by a length and a half. The gun send Piping Lane could be the danger. Wider out of Stormy Seas and Double Irish. Piping Lane has moved up, got his head in front of Magnifique. Wider out Stormy Seas and Gun Send, but Piping Lane has won the money. A boil over, Piping Lane first, Magnifique second.
Some fella said, oh, he said, Piping Lane's won it. I said, I don't know, it's like that. And he said, did you back it? I said, no. I said, I own it. Yeah.
Today, Ray and his 23-year-old horse are still on clover. The council renamed the road past Ray's house, and his trophy room is testimony to a lifetime in racing. Each trophy is a memory, but for Ray Trinder, there's one moment he'll treasure above all others. A precious moment, one Tuesday in November.
It was a wonderful feeling, I think, to see so many people there, you know, in front of a crowd like that. And when I did receive the cup and I went over towards the fence, it was just amazing to see those people, you know, would want to try and reach out and touch it.
Yeah, lovely story, isn't it? Must be nice to look out your window and see your old winner there, whether he's 23 or 25 or not. And it's good for him to look after the old bloke too. After he's done the job for you, you do the job for him when he retires. We'll be back after this break with a lot more from the final day of the Spring Racing Carnival at Flemington.
Who's bad? The Dulcify colours goes in the field set to go for the Rakovala Stakes. Set now. Lights on, and away in racing. And one of the first out, Princess Phoenix from My Warning. Bassie's Pride wide out with Funners Racing. Triesca's jumped away nicely. Pacific going through in the middle, and they were followed by Princess de Powies and then Thelma Josephine, Peaceful Lily. Intent Gaze drifting back through the field from Miss Nora Lee. Second last when they settle Fairy Dreams, and Mrs. Joe Gargery 2 lengths away last, but that's her usual pattern of racing. 1,600 metres to go, and Pacific work to the front from Bassie's Pride, trapped wide. Then My Warning and Triesque over on the inside of Peaceful Lily, followed by Funners Racing, Princess de Powies on the inside of Thelma Josephine, then Miss Nora Lee over on the inside, going around the wide Princess Phoenix, and then came Fairy Dreams, and last of all, a length and a half back now was Mrs. Joe Gargery, and Intent Gaze was third last, and the field of 13 covered up by about 10 lengths. 1,200 metres to go, and Pacific in front, settled well for Michael Clark, led 3/4 to Bassie's Pride. 1.5 to My Warning, a length away Peaceful Lily, and then Triesque, followed by Funners Racing. Intent Gaze going closer now, 3 wide though, then Princess de Powies and Fairy Dreams, followed by Princess Phoenix and Miss Nora Lee, Thelma Josephine, and a length away Mrs. Joe Gargery. About 900 metres to go, and Pacific in front by 3/4 to Bassie's Pride. 1.5 to Peaceful Lily on the outside of My Warning, then Triesque on the inside of Princess de Powies and Funners Racing, going around them Intent Gaze and Fairy Dreams, then Miss Nora Lee, followed by Mrs. Joe Gargery, Princess Phoenix and Thelma Josephine. Around the turn, 600 metres to go, and Pacific in front for Michael Clark. by a length to Bassie's Pride, 2 away, third Peaceful Lily. Then My Warning, followed by Princess de Powys, Trieste on the inside. Fairy Dreams into the clear, and then Intent Gaze, 400 to go. Bassie's Pride hit the front. Bassie's Pride drew clear from Pacific Peaceful Lily. Then came down the outside Funners Racing, Mrs. Joe Gargery late, and then came My Warning.